let's just sew whatever. I have had this custom order since April. And I don't normally take custom orders anymore because life is too hectic and I can't guarantee when I'll actually be able to make it. So luckily this customer was somewhat understanding of that. I told her in June I was working on them. I think, maybe it's May. I don't remember. And I don't think she would watch this, but if she does, boy, am I extremely sorry. I am making an Emily tote bag. This is my own pattern. This is my very first sewing pattern. So I've updated it once, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I really, really think I need to update it again. There's so much more that I do within this pattern that I didn't previously do. So that being said, I might share some little differences that I make, and then hopefully, I think I've been saying this the last like 3 years, but I really want to update all of my old patterns. Go ahead and get started. I am making the all vinyl exterior, but with the sectioned pieces. So I'm excited for that. It's not a way that I have, so I do not need to cut out any crossbody strap. She decided to go with this glow-in-the-dark webbing from Fabric Therapy, which I think will be super fun. The recessed zipper panel I will be making out of the vinyl, this out of the vinyl. I'm gonna be interfacing the bottom accent and the main panel with Decaville Light out of the seam allowances. I'm going to be interfacing the lining, since it's this cotton woven, with a woven interfacing. And then the zipper pocket. And then this base is only out of the vinyl. So really it's not a lot of bag to have to cut. So we're just going to get started. I am using this Courtyard Green. This is a luxe vinyl that I carry on my website. Absolutely love this. She decided to go with a lime green thread. She saw a Beetlejuice bag that I made, and she was like, I love this. I'm not a huge Beetlejuice fan, but I love that green. I love that thread. I love the strap. She's like, what else? So she picked out the gray poison apples. So I'm like, yeah, perfect. I can do that. So I'm just going to cut out my 2 straps. She decided to go with a 24-inch handle length. So I'm just going to measure down the center and add some double-sided tape. You could put double-sided tape on either side or down the center. And this is something you can do at your sewing machine, but it's nice to just get it out of the way while you're at your cutting table, you know? There's that. Okay, and then yeah, okay. What am I doing? So we've got our bottom panel accent here. I think I can get both pieces out of this little section. Nope. Dang. So I'll probably start with this, then look at my base cut. I'm going to be interfacing the base with Decaville Light and Decaville Heavy. She uses this bag as like a travel and a laptop bag. She's purchased 2 others from me before. Was it the Lauren bag? I think it was the Lauren. with that like overlay and the Deathly Hallows. This is that same person who purchased, so definitely want to make sure I do this bag justice, as she is she's a pretty loyal customer. For as loyal as you can get for someone who does not make as many bags to sell and doesn't travel to shows or conventions to sell handbags anymore. But that's what I did for many, many years. All right, so this is my lining top piece. I do not need to interface this for this bag. And I only need 2 of those, so then I can put this away. We'll cut out the bottom accent. I'll trace out this little area here to cut with scissors. I believe that template shop is starting to do rotary cut lines for their templates, but they hadn't in the past. So it's really hard to get in there just right. So I'm just adding all of the pieces that I'm going to need to interface to that little pile over there. I believe this vinyl has like a little bit of stretch, so it'll be good to interface it to prevent that. And I'm doing my best not to overcut with my rotary cutter. It does take a lot of practice, but you want to make sure that you're not going too far, that you leave random nicks in the vinyl. I would almost, especially if this is not a raw edged project, I would almost rather undercut and then just snip those little corners with my scissors than have unusable fabric. That makes sense. So I just need 2 of those base pieces. These templates are the fussy cut templates, so they're full-size pieces. Otherwise, they're mostly on the fold. I was just thinking, this is like 18 inches wide of a pattern piece, so it seems silly to cut it this direction, but I have 2 rolls of the vinyl, so it'll be okay. And I can use this for connectors. I could make a fun little tassel for her, things like that. Oh my gosh, with that like bright lime green thread, this is gonna be so pretty. So we're just gonna need 2 of these. I don't have enough on this to cut that, so I will need this second roll. But I can cut the top of my zipper panel, and then I'm going to do the underside in the poison apples. Evermore, I need you to get down. Hey, we don't go up there. There you go. No, ma'am. So I'm going up, and I'm kind of making it so the middle of the rotary cutter, like the circle, is at that line, because that's as far as it's cut when you think about it. And then I just have a tiny little bit to snip around. So I'm not going to interface that, but I will press it. This has been rolled for quite some time. So this is my lining, lining, lining. She wanted a cargo slip pocket inside and a zipper pocket. And she didn't say what color hardware, but I'm guessing black nickel would look the absolute best. So then I need to cut out 6 strap connectors. So that's going to be 2 by 24. You know what? I might actually make her like a fun little midnight kiss zipper pouch because she waited so long. And she only emailed once and was like, hey, yo, you gonna make that bag or not? So very thankful for that. I think I will. I'm trying to decide if I want to top stitch at 3/8 just to add more of that bright pop or not. I'm thinking I might though, because I'm really going to take my time on this custom order to make sure that all of my stitches are as perfect as they can be. So I think that'll just really floor. She'll be floored. So that's all my strap connectors in one long piece. But I know how to make a zipper pouch. I just thought a little midnight kiss would be kind of fun. Let's do, I'll just use my 8x6 ruler. Haha, perfect. So yeah, just giving these a little press will help with it wanting to curl like that. And then I can use these as my zipper tabs. I'll just use a little number 3 zipper tape. Be super cute. Add a poison apple pull. Bing, bang, boom. So those are my zipper tabs. I could probably just cut the corners when I'm at my machine. I'm just gonna do a little 1-inch boxed corner. So super cute little sweet pattern. And this is all I have left. So I can put that in my scrap bin and use that up later. We have one more exterior piece to cut and then it's all gonna be lining and interfacing. Okay, I'm gonna cut this way, even though I could cut it the other way and save my vinyl, I won't be able to make any crossbody strap if I decide to cut it the other way. So I'm gonna save the length of my roll for a future crossbody strap. And then I can put this away because I have my top, bottom, base, connectors, handles, strap is different. So that's all I'm gonna need out of that. I got my top lining of the top of my zipper panel. I don't want to do a zipper overlay with this. I might do black luxe. Well, That doesn't look bad. A ton of Luxe black, so it's the same texture. I think the black is gonna look really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for just the interior zipper overlay. And we don't need this piece anymore. She didn't ask for any exterior zipper pocket, so I don't need to worry about that. And then the way I cut my overlay is I'm gonna do 10 by 2 for my zipper pocket. Having a black cutting mat makes it so much harder. Let's try this. Hey, I can see again. Cool. So 2 tall, 10 wide. Probably could do a bigger pocket in the Emily. I think my original one has like a giant zipper pocket, but either way. So I am measuring 3/4 of an inch from the ends, lining up my ruler with the sides. And then I'm going from line to line. If you have scrap fabric, stuff you like never use, you could always try to practice rotary cutting. And then I'm just extending those cuts, connecting them across to take out what's inside. And there is our overlay. I'll add my double-sided tape to the top and bottom. And you want to do this as evenly as possible. If you're using vinyl with any kind of stretch, when you apply that tape, if you're letting it kind of get wonky, it will keep that wonky shape because of that tape. So the tape kind of gets rid of any stretch. So there is that. I was thinking about if I want to add any vinyl trim to the cargo slip pockets, but that would add a lot of bulk when I fold those seams. I could use accessory weight Luxe black. If I have any. There it is. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So I wanna cut a little trim piece that's 20 inches long. And this ruler is only 18, dang. Would have been nice. So I'm gonna do 1 inch by 20. When I cut my slip pocket, I'm gonna make it so it's just folded at the bottom, and then I'll add the binding to the top. And since this is thinner, it'll give it just a nice luxury feel. So I'm gonna cut this longer than I need it to be. And then I'm gonna add a 1/2 inch line down the center. And for this, I'm gonna add 2 pieces of double-sided tape, not just one long one. One at the top. One at the bottom. That's gonna be so nice. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat press on. We'll cut out our lining and then start interfacing. So we're going to start cutting out our lining and then interfacing. Well, that warms up. So I'm going to need 2 of my main lining pieces, and this print is directional, so I want to be mindful of that. I can't say that I am worried about the slip pocket direction. Like when you look inside the slip pocket with the way I'm thinking of putting it together, it's going to be upside down. I don't think it's that big of a deal myself. I will interface my zipper panel. I was thinking maybe I won't, but I think that I want to. I'm going to cut my zipper pocket a little bit larger as well. I have this at 9.5, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it to 10 so that it's the same width as my zipper overlay. We're going to have that same little corner cutout issue. So I'm just going to mark those first and then rotary cut what I can without actually hitting the template, because you're just going to dull your blade if you do that. And I could have cut through 2 layers at the same time to cut out both, but it's okay. If you were using a domestic machine to make this bag, you could definitely leave your cotton uninterfaced, but my machine will just tear this up. So I don't want to do that. I'm just laying these pieces on my heat press so that they will kind of flatten out with the heat. There's one. And then I'm being careful, I almost said mindful, careful not to get too close to those areas where I rotary cut and kind of overcut a little bit so that those aren't within your next cut piece. They might be within your seam allowance, but especially with a cotton woven, it might fray a little bit over time as the fabric wears. So you really don't want to risk having that in your bag. It won't be as bad because we're interfacing it, but you know, still. Alrighty. That is my 2 main lining. The bottom panel is already integrated into that, so we don't need to worry about it. Okay, need these 2 things. This isn't going to be really seen in the bag, so I'm not going to worry about it being super directional. I think I am going to interface the zipper panel, of course, outside of the seam allowances, but I think it'll give it a nice structure. And honestly, one of the things that has taken me the longest, other than finding the time and mental capacity to make this bag, is I'm so worried about making it as structured as it can be without it being too heavy, because the more structure you add, the heavier the bag is, the less you're going to want to carry it. So, you know. So I'm going to write on here my stabilizer measurement. And I'm just going to make that an inch smaller on all sides. So I'll put this in my stabilizer pile. And now we just have our zipper pocket and our really large cargo pocket. In the pattern, I have you cut this as that internal slip pocket, but if you're making a cargo pocket, this is not going to be long enough. You're gonna need to add those like 2 extra inches. So let me just see, yeah. So I'm gonna cut, well, okay. My main reason for wanting to do it as just a fold is so that there's less bulk on the bottom, especially if I interface one side of it. When I sew it together, you're gonna have 1, 2, and then I fold it, and then you're gonna have 4, and then I fold it again, and then you're gonna have like 8 layers within that bottom cargo area. So I'm gonna cut it with the fold down here. So I'm just gonna fold this on itself. I feel like reducing the bulk is gonna be more important than having the print in the right direction on the inside of that pocket. Like, it feels like a non-issue. I'm adding 2 inches because we are going to be folding at those inch lines to bring them in. So we need to have extra fabric. We can't cut it the same size or it's going to be too small on the sides. I believe 2 inches is enough. If you wanted to, you can make it 2.5. You're just going to have excess to cut on the sides. So just keep that in mind when you pick your fabrics. Is it something you have extra of that you're okay if you trim off an inch or 1/4 of an inch, or are you okay with having to trim some off? Ooh. All right, so will I be interfacing this? I wonder if I can yeah, maybe I'll just block interface, not at those fold areas. Because essentially what this is going to be, let me grab my lining here. Is it's going to be a slip pocket right about here. So I might even trim off an inch so that it's not that close to the top. But this is plenty big for us to fold, because you fold it in half to find your center. You mark a 1 inch line, stitch it, mark a 1 inch line, stitch it down, fold those into the center. Holy crap, look at that fussy cut almost. Like, not quite, but that's cool. Oh no, is it too short? Should I cut 3 extra inches? I don't know if it'll be too short. I'll be sad if it's too short. Oh my gosh. Aw, I have more. I have a 1-inch ruler somewhere. Oh, maybe I needed to add 4 extra inches because you've got a 1-inch fold on itself. Crap. But then my trim won't be long enough. No, no, we're not doing that. So I think I'll just try to make that work. I will trim off the top. Because something else to think about is you don't really want the cargo pocket to be on the corner. This is such a deep cornered bag that if you have it extending into the sides, it kind of like gapes open kind of weird. So I might fold these edges in so it's a finished edge there. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to cut 2 inches off the top here to make it short enough. And I know I've said it a million times, but this is why it is so hard for me to make patterns. It's because like I want to change everything up. I want things to be different. Well, I'll make this into a wristlet strap. So, you know. So I'm going to mark 1-inch line on the back of this. We're going to fold into that. So if we imagine that's folded, then I want to cut interfacing, that's 8 inches. Eight inches by, let's see. So I want to give myself 2 inches here for my folds. So like 8 by 7 pieces of interfacing that I'm going to place right next to this folded edge so that there is structure within those pockets and they're not too slouchy. I think that'll be really good. Times 2. Okay, so now we just need our zipper pocket lining. And I don't think I'm gonna interface those. Ooh, I almost forgot that. So then I'm gonna cut 10 by 7 for my pocket lining. And since we're doing a zipper pocket overlay, what you can do if you'd rather not have any excess to cut off, you can do one that's like 3/4 of an inch shorter. And then you'll make up for what you're gonna have to cut off. Otherwise, it's not that much you gotta cut off. So, up to you. Probably will interface these with some woven. It's just thin. I want it to feel really structured. So that's my cargo pocket. That's everything I need to cut that is not interfacing. So I can fold this back up. It's been on my shelf for a million years. Round 8. Yeah, we're on 50. Wait, we're way over 50. We don't even count anymore. That was fun. Oh, lining for my zipper pocket, my bad. Or my pouch. But I know it's just this ruler. I will need to interface these two since I don't have the want to switch machines. So there's that. All right, we'll fold that back up. We're gonna have Decaville heavy on the base of the bag. So this is my bottom panel stabilizer piece. Hello, fits perfectly right there. And then we're gonna cut an additional piece of Decaville Light. I talked to Shannon from Knotted Threads Co. She is a bag making super expert. And I was like, how would you make this structured without being too much? So she gave me some tips, and she said she would trim this down by like 1/8 of an inch on all sides or 1/4 of an inch so that there's less bulk, but still adds that nice structure. So 4.5 by 10.5. And we're going to stabilize the heavy first and then the light over top. And then I'll add some fun stitching lines. I'm almost tempted to add like some slime quilting, but she didn't say she wanted anything like that. She just wanted that fun pop inside. But if I were making this to sell, yeah, I'd probably do that. Okay, so this is going to be 1 inch smaller on all sides. And that gives us 1/2 inch for the seam allowances, which this bag is designed for. And I'll be honest, when I made more bags, I think I had 2 rolls of Decaville Light that I would use. I know it's expensive, but I liked one for my random cuts and one for my straight cuts because, like, I hate the wasteful feeling, you know? So I'm just moving that down. You can see my 17. So that is one for the top exterior. We can just move down, cut the same from here. For the top, so then the bottom, I don't know why the bottom doesn't really have a measurement. I feel like it does on my normal one, but this is a 3-inch corner cutout. Yeah, 3-inch corner cutout. 5 tall. So 4 tall by 17 with a 3 by 1/2 inch cutout. I mean, technically I could get it out of this little chunk, but I'll move on down the roll. And we're done with our main panel exterior piece. We can go ahead and put that away. I had debated, I might still add 2 layers of Decaville Heavy, or I'm sorry, 2 layers of Decaville Light. Oh, well, honestly, that's kind of perfect. No, we'll still do the cutouts. On the bottom, just so it had some really nice structure, but I might add fleece. I'm imagining it in my head. What is it going to feel like? How will it fuse? Might add the fleece, because it's literally just going to be this little piece of fleece. You could even potentially do foam, but I didn't want it to be puffy. And then these little scraps of Decaville you can save to interface your strap connectors if you would like, to prevent stretch over time. So that's all that stabilizer. I'll go ahead and cut a piece of the Decaville Light for my zipper panel stabilizer. And then I'm going to fuse this to my cotton fabric. And then all the others are going to get just regular woven. And by now my heat press is ready to go, which is awesome. So yeah, these are just going to get Decaville Light about at an inch smaller all the way around. Wonderful. There's that for these. And now woven and fleece. I think the fleece will be really nice. I just have piles of random woven over here, so I'm gonna be honest and say I really don't know what I'm using. I think this is So Fuse from Monica at Castine Handcrafted. Castine? cannot recall what it's supposed to be. So I apologize. But yeah, every piece of woven is gonna get that. I'm gonna go ahead and press my exteriors so they have a chance to cool. I do not want the fleece on the outside. I want the Decaville, so I'll do that. I didn't want to throw it on the ground though. Thank you. So, press my woven first. This is my base. No? Here's the base. And if you need to mark out your 1/2" guides, you can. I'm eyeballing it. Maybe it's not the best decision, I don't know. And then I'm just gonna press my zipper pouch pieces super quick. I just need to warm those up to remove the urge for it to be curled. So I'll just let that cool. And for the Decaville Heavy, I always like to warm it up on the top of the press first. So that I know that it's going to stick before I actually press it, because things could shift. We're done with that piece. And I will lay this over top of that, and we're just gonna have that little bit of extra stabilization. Pressing it gently down first so that I know it doesn't shift, and then finishing that off. And then once these things start to cool, we can put them in our bucket to sew, but you definitely want to let it cool. Oh, wow. That feels really nice. Whew, I like it. Okay. Make sure you've got shiny side down on your stabilizer pieces. And if you are not sure what interfacing is, what stabilizer is a thicker interfacing. And then, well, interfacing is just interfacing. And you do not want to iron things for too long. And let them cool before you're going to start sewing. Some people will do like 24 hours. I think that's totally up to you. I'm going to give it some time, but not like all day, because I got stuff I got to do. I got to make this bag, you know? Okay. This is the top of my zipper panel, so I'm just going to give those a quick press. I don't like to do vinyl longer than 10 seconds. If things didn't fuse, you can try again, but let it cool some. And I'm not saying that all vinyl can be interfaced, so definitely check. Do a little practice first. Okay. There's my zipper panel. And like, you don't want to stack these as they're cooling, because they're going to trap the heat from one to the other, so just be careful. Yeah, I think the fleece is going to be perfect with it. I'm just imagining, like, this is the bottom of the bag. This is the base. The top is so large. It has the handles etc. So we want that extra little bit to help. I literally just said don't stack them as they cool, and I did it anyway. And so this is why I kind of wait until the very end to press, because you can see I'm going really quickly. I don't have to cut the next thing, wait for that. I'm cutting everything I can kind of at once, letting these cool down. And I'm able to kind of keep everything together. Okay. Base of the bag over here, handles, strap connectors, top of the lining. Excuse you, ma'am. All right. So I'm gonna press my cotton fabric first, and I can do this in like a big stack. I don't have to do each piece individually. I used to actually interface this way too when I needed to interface woven fabrics. I'm like, oh, we'll just stack it all together, why not? But I don't interface as much as I used to. Okay. Don't scream. Alrighty. Just make sure there's nothing underneath before you start cutting. I'm going slow around the edges. Bring that all flat again. And I know that cotton fabric can be fused a little bit longer, but you don't want to press it for too long or you might burn your interfacing and then it's not going to stick to anything. We'll let that cool first. These are my pockets. Those are a little bit smaller. And I try to avoid it on more important parts of the bag, the selvage, because you can feel it. But like in a zipper pocket, I'm not that worried about it. I'm not going to interface, well, I should say I'm thinking about not interfacing the entire pocket, leaving the bottom uninterfaced since we're going to be sewing that shut. We're already going to have a ton of layers of fabric. I don't really want a ton of layers of interfacing on top of that, you know? straighten those back out. Take that off, feels good. Okay. So now I can switch to my ruler. Here it is. For my zipper pocket lining, or I should say the little extra pouch I'm making. And the interfacing I'll need for this pocket piece. Press that for a while. This is for my pouch, so I am going to completely interface that. And then we want to do 8 by 7 for my slip pocket, and I have an 8 by 6 ruler and a 1 by 8, so voila. I have the size I need, although I could use my big ruler too. Hot. That's going to be really cute. I'm excited for that. I hope she will be too. I'm going to flip this over. And this is going to go right next to and at the very top edge of that pocket. Hopefully this works out well. This seems like a cool idea. So I don't know. Who knows, maybe it'll be kind of stupid. And then again, the bottom of that, I do not want to interface. We'll see. Uh-oh. What are you? Where'd you come from? Okay, just a little scrap. All right. Didn't see you. Phew. Scare me. Okay. So we just need our fleece now. So it goes super quick when you have a plan of attack. I'm so curious what this is gonna be like. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna press it because I don't want to have to like turn my iron on. I'll go ahead and press that now. And if you're not sure how you want to interface, you can always kind of like put your pieces together, kind of see what it feels like, kind of scrunch it a little bit. Again, this is such a large piece and it has a lot that's going to be added. So I think being able to add just a little bit more to this bottom panel to make it really structured is going to be nice. I'm almost even tempted to do another layer of Deck of the Light. Just cut that little bit smaller. I just don't know. I don't want Decaville heavy, but like, look at that. Not going anywhere. And it's not that I want this bag to be like bulky, beefy like this, but I don't want it to be wimpy and foldy, you know. I think that's going to be really nice. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to open that up, apply double-sided tape right next to the fold 2 line. And then I'll do some at the top so that I don't have to baste stitch it. I'll just be able to sew through the top panel. This is my little zipper pouch at Law. Okay. I keep forgetting I'm cutting the fleece. I think I'm avoiding it. I'm like, what if it ruins it? What if it makes it not good? Okay, let's do it. And I'm going to try really hard to remember to turn off my heat press because I didn't do it the other day. Okay, so I'm going to cut this the same size. I don't know. I feel like that will be nice. And again, if you're not sure, you can take a little scrap even and just kind of gauge how that's going to feel. And I think that'll be nice. Just give it a little bit of something. And I still need that corner cut out. I have probably made well over 100 of this bag style, and I just feel like I'm always trying to think of a way to kind of change it up almost. I don't know where my spray bottle is, but I mean, fleece usually doesn't adhere unless you've got a little spritz of something. For me, anyway. always try to clean up as I go. Yeah, it barely fused. Just like, did Dorothy take it? Probably. I have an Easter egg filled with water. Half filled with water. See if that works. Maybe, maybe not. Not no. Again, not. I'll try again. I'll get my hands wet and then I'll pat it. I probably could have looked harder for the spray bottle, but I just really don't know where it is. Okay. Watch it like only fuse in a hand shape. Best I got. Is it on the floor? It was hanging up right here. Okay. I think we're good. Let it cool before we test how it's gonna be, but that is it for cutting and interfacing the Emily Tote all vinyl special edition. I don't know truly. I'm excited to put this together. I hope you will join me, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. You need to get down, ma'am. Evermore, get down. No. No. Give you the chance. The answer is no. Do not get up there. Hey, that's a hot heat press. If you can't stay down, you're gonna have to be kicked out of the basement, okay? All right, you're gonna have to go out. I'm gonna kick you out now. You're gonna have to go up the stairs. All right, here you go. Ready? Whee! All right, bye. All right. Excuse you. Evermore. Hey, I said no, ma'am. Okay, you're gonna have to go back up the stairs. There you go. Go get some toys. Go get those toys. Evermore, ma'am. No, 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 no. Get down. Hey, not very demure. All right, I don't want this person to be allergic to kitty babies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Evermore. Do you want me to hold you? You want to be held or no? Okay. I can't really do it while I'm holding you. Here. You want this? Okay. You don't want it? All right. Got a lot of editing to do on this video. Stop scratching up my chair.